Epic Hikes calls on South Africans to recognize the profound impact of their choices for the 2024 general elections. On the 25th of November, the organization plans a nature walk at the Cradle of Humankind to raise awareness about defending our democracy. For more on this conversation, we are now joined by Epic Hikes co-founder, Newzroom Afrika. Newzroom, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Yeah. Now, 2024 could see a huge turn in events in terms of government, a possibility of a coalition government on a national scale.
100%.
How much do you think young people are going to contribute or impact towards this decision?
So we really don't know, but that's the idea here is to get young people educated to start voting, to register firstly to vote, and secondly to give them the power to know the importance of voting and to equip them with enough knowledge to understand what 2024 is really about and what it can do for all our young people. Because I think what's the hurdle right now is that a lot of young people don't know their power. They just think, oh, you're just going to vote, and then after that specific day, everyone just moves and then we continue as normal. But if you equip people with the correct knowledge, I think a lot of young people get to understand the importance their X makes in society.
In society as a whole, most certainly. I mean, earlier on we saw a few students from the Free State saying that they are not interested in registering to vote because there's no service delivery. Some of these campaigns don't speak to them. They completely feel ousted by the system and therefore they don't want to partake in it. How important is that education, like you're saying, and young people realizing that it doesn't end with you making the vote on that day? Being a part of a democracy is a continuous process that you perpetually need to be a part of.
Yes. So it's extremely important, and to be very honest, I'm a young person myself. I didn't know all of this, and you can't blame people. Because my thing is, you only know what you know. I can't blame you or hate on you for knowing what you know. But after we give you the knowledge of knowing, then we can start looking at those people differently. And what we're trying to do at Epic Hikes is literally to get young people in safe spaces. Because I think what has been happening before, it's been like a lecture, like sit down, listen to me, this is what this thing is about, and that's not, it's not working. It's clearly not working. A lot of young people are not registering to vote because of the old ways. So what we're trying to do is to hold young people, bring them in a safe space, and in my opinion, a safe space is in nature.
Right.
So what we do at Epic Hikes is to take slow, contemplative walks. We don't like calling them hikes. We take slow, contemplative walks, and we literally interrogate all that is happening in society today. And right now, what is important, because it really is a pandemic, the most important thing right now is to get young people to register to vote, and they need to be in a safe space. I think that's the biggest hurdle that's happening right now. And in that space, you bring experts that can talk and walk with us and feel us and touch us and see you going through stuff, seeing you as a human being before you are a statistic. So that's why we've partnered with Defend Our Democracy, because they are the experts. They are the people that are holding our government accountable. They are the people that are creating spaces for active citizens to get the knowledge of what to do, how to do things, because tweeting about stuff is not the correct way to do things. And then South Africa right now is also just going through a lot mentally.
Yeah.
A lot of young people are going through a lot of mental challenges, and then we get frustrated that we're saying so many things on social media, but nothing is happening. But if we had gone to these slow walks with people that have so much knowledge to implore us with all of this knowledge that, no, if you're doing this, here are the correct procedures to do this. Here's how you do this for you to see change. And I think that's the only way we can try get a better South Africa amongst young people. Yeah.
Newzroom, I'm very interested in how these hikes work. I mean, you call them what? Contemplative walks.
Yes.
That's a very nice way of putting it, especially for someone like me, who during a hike would be out of breath, and the only thing that I'm focused on is getting to the end point.
Yes.
So how does it work? In this hike, do you stop somewhere and then these conversations happen?
Oh, definitely. So how it works, and I love what you said, like people are so worried about the destination. So our motto or our slogan is the journey is the destination.
Right.
So what we do, we take a lot of pauses and we make people aware of their breath.
Okay.
So there's a couple of breathwork practitioners we partner up with on these walks because of what happened in COVID, your lungs collapsing. So now we make, the whole idea is for you to be present.
Okay.
To think about nothing else but where you are, the trees, your foot, how you're breathing, and we have a lot of stops, and in those stops, that's where we have conversation triggers. Like, guys, let's stop, forget about your phone, just for the second right now, forget about your phone, here's a conversation trigger, here's what's happening. And so it's normally themed,
okay.
So right now it will be, here's what's happening in South Africa today, what are your hurdles, what don't you know? Ask the questions right now. We've got the people from Defend Your Democracy right here, right now. What do you need clarity about? How do you feel about voting? Like, you know, all those kind of conversations where you have to poke holes. And I think creating a safe space and an active space, you know, sometimes you just need to forget about the hustle and bustle of the world, the stresses of the world, and you need to bring like-minded people that want to connect firstly to themselves,
right.
Connect to others, and to connect to nature. And I think that's the checkmate of how we solve this thing.
This is so interesting. And how big would these groups be, and how long is this walk?
So because South Africa is 2024 is a pivotal, year for South Africa. Because South Africa is turning 30 years, so what we're trying to do is to just cap it at 30 people,
okay.
30 influential South Africans or patriots of South Africa, and then we implore those guys to get another 30 South Africans, and it would be amazing if we get people that are under the age of 30 to register and vote. So the whole campaign is 30, 30, 30. And it's a nice organic way to just let the first domino to fall, and then it will just slowly have a ripple effect of young people under the age of, because it's very alarming that we are turning 30 years into our democracy, but people under the age of 30 are the biggest ones that haven't registered. That alone is a pandemic. So now it's bringing 30 young South Africans, give them the knowledge, give them the tools, and then the next walk. So we're going to have a series of these walks. In the next walk, show us the 30 people you've now gathered that have registered to vote. And then after that, those 30 people in the next walk, they must show us the 30 people that they've organically received, and they'll get all the knowledge they need. So it's just all of that. And that's the dream, right? To not partner with all these organizations because they are so numbers-based. Like, oh, we want 1,000. So just get 30 people to get 30 people, and they'll get 30 people. And that's
the ripple effect will happen in that way.
And the truth of how these things and how we change the world, hopefully.
So this is happening on the 25th of November at the Cradle of Humankind. This would be the first one, and would then all of these series of walks happen until we go to the polls?
Yes. So that's the idea. So for now, we're just testing it out. We're trying to see, because we're not trying to make anything political. The idea here is to get young South Africans to vote and to give them the power and the knowledge to know that it's very important to vote. And this is why it's important, you know? Yeah.
At the basis of your organization being Epic Hikes is to look at the mental wellness of people, not just of young people.
Yes.
How are you finding the effects of mental illness and depression and being suicidal on young people not wanting to be active citizens and have that active citizenry within the social spaces that they move in, within their communities, and that then having a ripple effect on having a whole generation of people not wanting to participate?
That is a conversation, because I can go on for days with that, but it is I think a lot of people are just rigid in terms of help, in terms of therapy, like the 4 walls therapy, or just the idea of seeking help. I think a lot of the space between the ears of a lot of young South Africans is not a safe space. We all have distractions. We're all distracting ourselves with a lot of things, and that is the problem. So I think the universe and God and the people that have come before me are saying, dude, take people outside of this hustle and bustle and outside of these distractions. Take them out in nature and let them have a conversation. Let them see what let them face themselves. So normally what we call these hikes outside of this very important is a journey back to self.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people have lost their ways outside of home, and we ask them questions like, how do you come home to yourself? What does that journey look like? And you soon realize that a lot of people, when you ask them those questions, they just take out a phone. And why are we distracting ourselves? Why are young people distracting themselves from the importance of learning self, knowing self, and trying to be a better person? So to answer your question, it's a very important journey South Africa has to fix.
Of course.
I think I'm just a small little guy trying to do change in this country, and yeah, let's just take it forward. I forgot my train of thought right now.
I can tell it's late in the evening, and it's completely understandable. Lesego, thank you so much for joining us, but most importantly, for the good work that you're doing, because if we don't address our mental health issues, we won't be addressing a lot of the social ill issues that we're facing in this country. And if we're asking young people to go out and vote, then it's just one thing that we are not addressing at this particular time. So thank you for that, and we wish you all the best, and we hope we should then be joining you on some of these epic hikes. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.